Maria wiped the sweat from her brow as she maneuvered through the lavish dining room of the Harmon estate, a place where opulence dripped from every chandelier and designer vase. It was a world she had come to know intimately, yet it felt as foreign as the moon. As she set the table for yet another extravagant dinner party, her mind drifted, the clinking of silverware fading into the background. What if, just for a moment, she could step into Susan Harmon's world? What if she could silence the relentless demands of her socialite mistress? The thought sent a thrill through her, a spark of rebellion against the monotony of her daily grind. She imagined Susan, the picture-perfect hostess, with her perfectly coiffed hair and designer outfits, all tied up in a chair, her mouth gagged with a silk scarf. Maria stifled a laugh at the absurdity of it, but the image lingered, vibrant and tantalizing. In her daydream, she slipped into the exquisite heels that were always just a bit too small for Susan, feeling the rush of power as she sauntered into the party, a glass of champagne in hand. The guests, oblivious to the switch, lavished her with compliments, mistaking her for the glamorous woman they adored. For once, she would be the center of attention, not the invisible servant scurrying to meet every whim. The doorbell rang, jolting Maria back to reality. She hurried to the entrance, smoothing her apron and plastering on a smile. As she opened the door, she was met with the sight of Susan, resplendent in a shimmering gown, flanked by her equally glamorous friends. Maria's heart sank. The moment of fantasy had slipped away like the bubbles in a glass of champagne. "Where have you been, Maria?" Susan snapped, her voice cutting through the air like a knife. "The guests are arriving, and I need you to." Maria nodded, her heart heavy with the weight of her unappreciated efforts. But as she turned to fetch the hors d'oeuvres, a sudden idea ignited within her. What if she could make her dream a reality, even just for a fleeting moment? With a mischievous glint in her eye, she plotted her course, a plan forming that would turn the tables in a way she had never imagined. That night, as the party unfolded, Maria's mind raced with possibilities. With each passing hour, she watched Susan flit from guest to guest, her laughter ringing hollow against the backdrop of clinking glasses and polite chatter. And then, just as the clock struck 10, an unexpected opportunity presented itself. In a quiet moment, as Susan stepped away to refresh her makeup, Maria slipped into the opulent study, where the air was thick with the scent of leather and expensive cologne. She found the silk scarf draped over the back of a chair, a perfect prop for her audacious plan. Heart racing, she took a deep breath and stepped into the role she had longed to play. As the door creaked open, Maria felt a rush of adrenaline. She was no longer just the serving maid, she was the woman of the hour, ready to embrace the life she had always dreamed of. With a determined stride, she emerged into the party, the silk scarf now an emblem of her newfound confidence. And in that moment, as laughter echoed through the grand halls and the lights twinkled like stars overhead, Maria realized that sometimes the most powerful transformations begin with a single, daring thought.